All right, welcome back to our Friday afternoon meditation workshop. To repeat, the purpose of this workshop is every week, like a repeating rhythm, we remind you why you're meditating in the first place. The job is for you to build a meditation habit throughout the week, morning and night, morning and night. Build that consistently over time. Whatever happens during the week, we'll always be here Friday afternoon to refresh your meditation habit, to remind you why you're meditating in the first place, and to get you feeling, balanced and aligned for the week to come and be ready and kind of motivated to get on this habit yourself. Make it a lifelong habit. Our goal is not just to meditate today or for the next couple of days or for this week. The goal is to establish a meditation habit that will last a lifetime. And I'm going to give you some advice which might be counter to other advice which you might get. And that other advice is to compartmentalize your life. When you go to work, just work. When you're with your family, just be with your family. Don't bring work into your family. When you're, exercising, you're just exercising. Okay. So I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to say, don't compartmentalize. So when you're meditating, you're not just meditating. And when you go to work, let's say you meditate in the morning, then you drive and you go to work, let's just say. Okay. If you compartmentalize the meditation, the work, the family time, and other things that you do, if when you compartmentalize that, you're not allowing the other things to flow. So, for example, I think something we can all understand, when you come home from work, you're not really with your family. You're with your family physically, your eyeballs are on the family, but inside you, unconsciously, forces are at work that are percolating all of your experiences, all the stress you might have had, all the experiences you might have had at work. So while you're with your family, unconsciously, subconsciously, you're still processing these past experiences. So you can't really be just with your family and have your mind focused on that. You can't really just be at work and have your mind focused on that. And as you know, when you meditate, it's hard to just be meditating and only focus on that. So I'm going to use this for the positive. So what we want to do is you want to meditate. You want to get into a meditative state, but don't end it when you stand up. Allow that meditative state to percolate through your day in all of your activities, when you're shopping, when you're cooking, when you're at work, when you're with your kids. You're not just a meditator and then wearing a different hat. You're a person who works and has a family and plays tennis or whatever it is you do, all those things that you do, who's also a meditator. You're all of these things. And to deny any one of them or to put a wall is not really going to work for you, because when you put the wall there, the other experiences are still flowing. They still need to percolate. See, every time we meditate, anytime you do anything really, but meditation in specifics, every time you meditate, you're activating unseen forces. And those unseen forces take their time to react and respond and percolate. So when you're meditating, you want to bring that meditative state to all of your activities. When you rise to higher consciousness and you get this higher sense of awareness, the goal isn't how high you rise, it's how much of that experience can you bring back and weave into your daily life. So whereas you may have been told before, compartmentalize. When you're at work, I want you to be 100% at work. Well, obviously there's some truth to that. You can't be daydreaming while you're at work, but you've got to work, and that's important. But you're also a meditator. And slowly, this meditation habit in the morning and in the night, slowly, this meditation habit starts to bring all the other aspects of your life into balance. It's not one or the other. We don't start meditating and say, well, I'm going to stop working. I'm going to stop being a parent. It doesn't work that way. You've got to continue to do all of these things and slowly bring them into balance through your meditation practice, bring yourself into balance, and then bring a more balanced version of yourself to all of these activities, and eventually get to the point where you can start to eliminate negative energy sources from your life. So you start to become more aware, for example, that certain people, let's say some people at work, are like very negative energy for you, and you normally would just deal with it. in a more balanced state, weeks from now, months from now, you can start to kind of, disappear those people and build your little bubble. And we're going to talk about this more about building a bubble. So today, I want to talk about timelines. We talked about this on Tuesday night, and we had a really nice conversation about timelines. And I mentioned something, and then I wanted to actually do this practice during this meditation session that we have today. We're going to do the keyword focus meditation. We're going to focus on the words patience, balance, and then we're going to add something in at the end of the meditation. We're going to do a keyword focus on the word magnetism, living magnetism. For those of you that are, in the Tuesday night ascension workshops and are going deeper into the higher dimensional work, you'll understand that that's a seventh dimensional experience. So we're going to do the keyword focus meditation. But then when we're finished with that, we'll be nice and feel nice and comfortable and blissed out. And what we're going to do at the end of that is I'm then going to talk about timelines. I'm going to relate this keyword focus meditation to the idea of timelines and show you that there are multiple ways for you to start to, lift yourself up and put yourself on a different track, on a different timeline. We'll talk more about that. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we are going to do the keyword focus meditation. Welcome to the keyword focus meditation. Now, if you're new to meditation, you might think that meditation means you're not allowed to have any thoughts. That is one type of meditation, but there's so much more to it. You see, meditation opens a doorway to your inner world where you can experience peace, alignment, and balance from the inside. It's just a natural part of who you are. And this keyword focus meditation is an easy way to create your own balanced wavelength until peace, harmony, and balance become your default way of being. You're going to be creating a new path for yourself, a path that's balanced, healthy, and aligned with who you really are. So let's get into the keyword focus meditation where you can start creating your own wavelength that's going to get stronger over time. Here we go. Sit comfortably, relax, close your eyes, just release all tension in your body. Today we will highlight 2 keywords. But before we get to that, I want you to notice how even though your eyes are closed, observe how your awareness, your energy, your attention is still pointed outside. I want you to reverse that awareness. It's very subtle, but turn your awareness around to look inside yourself. This is called inner sight. It's a very subtle shift in your attention. Reverse your awareness and use your inner sight to scan yourself. And even if all you see is darkness right now, that's okay. This is how you start activating your inner sight. Draw your inner sight to your diaphragm. Relax and find your diaphragm. It's that flat muscle that does the breathing for you. Notice when it gently expands, how the lungs automatically, effortlessly fill with air. Feel that air coming into and out of your lungs, and put your inner sight on your lungs and your diaphragm like a system that work together, and feel the air coming in and out of your lungs. Observe how the diaphragm is like a gentle pump. Put your awareness on your whole breath for 30 seconds. I want you to feel how long 30 seconds is. And if your awareness drifts outside, remember to reverse the light and bring it back inside.
30 seconds. You did it. Now, let's start with the first keyword. Imagine above your head in big bold letters the word patience. Now, patience is more than a word, right? It means a lot of things. It carries its own energy pattern, its own essence, its own power. See the word patience more as a cloud or a pattern of energy that represents patience, and see it floating above your head. Now, see that word patience descending slowly into your energy field and weaving itself into your being. Let it descend into you. The word patience and everything it means, all of that energy now merging with your body, merging with your skin and your muscles and your bones. Feel patience in your cells, percolating into your DNA. Slowly, gently repeat the word patience. The universe operates in longer rhythms and cycles. So be patient and align yourself with that slower, longer rhythm. Feel how patience dissolves the emotions that have been living inside your body. Patience when you're driving, patience when you're cooking your meal, patience when you're eating, patience with your children and your loved ones, patience in all aspects of life. You are patience. Feel that essence of patience inhabiting your being. You are that energy of patience. Physically, emotionally, energetically, you are patience. See the word patience and silently repeat the word and feel it as part of you. And sit with that inner focus now for 60 seconds. And as always, if you feel your attention projecting outward, reverse your awareness back inside you. Become patience for 60 seconds. Great job. Now let's use a second related keyword. I want you to see the word balance over your head. Again, such a simple word, but it has its own power, its own essence, its own energy, its own meaning that surrounds it. Feel that word balance and let it descend from above your head and become that word balance. Become that whole energy cloud. Balance merging into your being. Every cell in your body absorbing the essence of the word balance. You are balance. You are patience. And everything that means is now part of you. Let's sit with both those words for another 60 seconds. Silently repeat those words to fortify your inner concentration. And if your attention drifts, simply reverse your awareness back inside. Let's do that for 60 seconds. That's it. Beautifully done. Simply being here for a few minutes has put in motion unseen forces that are now aligning with this new wavelength of peace and balance that you've absorbed. The universe is now working for you. Be patient and let this new way of being take hold. This is a simple meditation, entry level, but look at what you've already accomplished. You've begun connecting with your inner sight. That's huge for what's coming next. You're practicing focused awareness for a minute. 99% of people on the planet can't do that. You've connected with an inner sense of your emotional and energetic fields as you allowed the energies of the keywords to merge with your own energy patterns. These are all very subtle but very important areas of progress that you need to keep in mind as you continue with this work. It's not complicated, it's just a new approach to life. And before you know it, patience and balance become anchored in your being. And meditation is going to feel as natural as breathing. Log this meditation experience in your journal, read some of the affirmations. Remember, this is only day one. This is just a temporary plateau from which you will continue to rise on your journey.
So that was the keyword focus meditation. And what we did is we took a concept, an idea, an abstract concept like the idea of patience, but converted it into a deeper, essential kind of an energy cloud. And then just like that, we lower it into our energy field, and that patience, that energy of patience fills us up, and we become that energy of patience. There's no difference now between my energy and this energy of patience. I've absorbed that energy. We did the same thing with balance. I want to just do another one right now. Just imagine the word happiness over your head. Happiness means a lot of different things. It's more than just a word. It has millions of different meanings and essence. I want you to imagine like a cloud of energy that represents in your mind the word happiness. And now I want you to slowly descend that energy cloud. And the moment it touches your outside of your energy field, it starts to fill you with that energy of happiness. And just let that descend into your being, in your muscles, into your bones, into your DNA, into your cells. Happiness. And now I want to add a simple element of time. This happiness that you've just absorbed, you can always say, I've always had this energy. This energy has always been inside of you. This energy will always stay inside of you. It's not just a momentary absorption of patience, balance, happiness. It's always. I've always had this energy. I've always had these feelings. We talked about timelines. In this new timeline, you're now patient. So you've shifted your timeline just a little bit, but you've shifted it a little bit every day, and the shift becomes more observable, more clear. But now you've shifted your timeline by absorbing the energy of patience, absorbing the essential energy and meaning of the word balance into your life, absorbing the essential energy of the word happiness into your life. Not just in the moment, but it's always been that way. You can now start playing with time. You've always been patient. You're patient now, and you always will be patient. You're absorbing a new attribute, not just for now and for the future, but you can apply it to the past. There is no, as we talked about on Tuesday night, there is no linear time. All of these timelines are happening at once. And you now are, we call it the keyword focus meditation because we're choosing a keyword. We're focusing on that keyword and absorbing that, the energy of that keyword, but we're also allowing it to be before, during, and after. So you can shift your timeline by making a decision to absorb a new attribute, a new experience, happiness. Experience that happiness now, but also experience it in the past and experience it in the future. It's an energy that has no time. Your existence here is really above time. And what we talked about on Tuesday night, when we talked about higher dimensional perspectives, we looked down, if you recall, and we saw that all timelines exist at the same time. All timelines exist, as Tegan described it, past lives, future lives, they all exist now in the moment. And so we talked about looking down on all those timelines and say, that one looks like a good one. You can jump down onto that timeline like a surfboard and start to ride on that timeline. Just like we just created a brand new timeline of happiness. We just added that to our timeline. We adopted that, and now this is our timeline. You can adopt it by absorbing the essential energy into you, or you can look down and choose a timeline, choose a series of attributes that you want to experience, and simply say, yeah, I'm going to go on to that timeline. And you can absorb all the experiences of that timeline. Timelines, it's a simple idea, but when you add the idea that all timelines exist at the same time and you can choose other timelines, like you can't choose, like I can't know what maybe I learned in a past life or what I'm going to learn. Like I don't know the specifics of that life, but I can choose a different energy structure for myself. I can choose a different emotional sense. Let me explain it in terms of hypnosis. When you're hypnotized, you're in a deep, deep sleep. You're totally relaxed. Your body is not moving. Your eyes are closed. You're asleep in essence because you're not conscious. You're not aware of what's happening. But as the hypnotist pulls your consciousness away from your body just sits there. But the hypnotist can move your consciousness to other timelines. The hypnotist can say, you are an Egyptian king from 5,000 years ago. And all of a sudden you stand up straighter, you sit up straighter, more regal. You literally embody that suggestion. You embody this timeline that the hypnotist just created for you. The hypnotist can move you to another timeline and say, you're a dog, bark like a dog. And you'll literally experience that. Your whole body will become that. See, your consciousness is in this body, but it is clearly not tied to this body. Your consciousness can change. Your consciousness can move around. It can acquire new experiences. It can acquire new attributes, new knowledge, new wisdom. Your consciousness is not chained to this limitation. And so as we think about this, right, you can now absorb like if you just imagine yourself above zillions and zillions of possible timelines, and they're all yours because you're, of course, manifestation of source. So we're the little piece of source, which is us, and then we're all of it also. So all of those timelines are available to you, whether they're yours personally or somebody else's, but you can go in and absorb character traits from those timelines. You can absorb emotional experiences from those timelines. And I just wanted to share this with you because we sit inside this body and we think that this life, I've got to figure out how to maneuver and change my third dimensional reality from within the third dimension. Well, that's the worst place to change it from. A lot of effort, and you're not really using the higher consciousness, the higher dimensional understanding that you are more than this, and you can choose other timelines. You can also rewrite your past. So let's do this exercise. Think of something within the last week that you remember, have a fresh memory of, that you really were happy, you really enjoyed the experience. In our case, we had family visit just out of the blue. They called us on Sunday night and got there at 1 in the morning and stayed with us. It was a whirlwind visit with family. We had a beautiful time, a great time. Now I can choose that memory and I can choose those positive feelings and I can absorb myself in those positive feelings, in that happiness of that moment, in the joy of what I was experiencing. And I can make that permanent all the way past, all the way into the future. It's now part of me. I've absorbed it. It was part of me, but I may not have been conscious or aware of it. Now I'm consciously choosing it. I want that energy. I want that reality. And you can absorb it either by surfing on the timeline or putting it over your head and letting it drop into your energy field, or simply thinking back from a couple of days ago, remembering that happy moment and reliving it, reabsorbing it. And while you may not be able to change the details of your past, like the actual things that happened, you can change your memory of the past and you can edit your memory. And you can say, I've always been happy, because that happy energy has always been inside you. Just may not have been able to express, but I can edit out. At the very least, I can blur the past out and not really even remember it and recognize that I'm in this exact present moment, because we're always living our past experiences. We relive them over and over and over and over again. Our past experiences inform our current thinking and our current attitudes and our current behavior. So our past experience is informing our actions right now, which is creating our future. So our past plays a big part in it. So we have the ability, because we understand about timelines and we understand about that time is not actually linear. I know it's difficult to get your head around, but sit with it for a couple of weeks and it'll start to, mean a little bit more to you. But you can edit the past. You can prune out, snip off the parts you don't want to be hold anymore, because everything you hold affects your future. So you can let go of the things, say, I don't even want to know about those anymore. I can at least blur them out so that I can sit in this present moment without all that baggage of my history and simply choose patience, balance, happiness, living magnetism, bliss. I can choose these things, make them part of my existence today, convince myself that these things have always been me, they're me now, and they're always going to be me in the future. Because there's no time, there's no me, there's no, well, yeah. It can get a little confusing, but I do want you to sit with this idea that you're not anchored into everything that's happened in the past. In other words, those things that limit you are only because you're holding on to them, usually subconsciously. But you don't have to. You can reprogram, rewire yourself, put new ideas, new experiences, new emotions, new feelings, new abilities, new emotional, like, literally new posture. You can literally change yourself by adopting these ideas, these emotions, these skills and abilities that you want, and putting them into this timeline. So you're changing. And what we're doing, most people, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch TV, go to sleep. That's what most people do. And they're living at their life stream is continuing on a certain habit. What we're doing is like a paint bucket of higher wisdom. We're throwing all of this higher wisdom into our life so that our life stream can start to change trajectory. We can go to a different timeline. Different what way? Happier, healthier, more abundant, more patient, more relaxed. Just everything better about this timeline. It's not going to happen if you don't do the work on a regular basis. So imagine like a paint bucket filled with all of this higher wisdom. Pour it in. Some of it percolates in, some of it's lost. You got to pour it in over and over again. Keep pouring this wisdom into your life, and you'll see that your trajectory, the trajectory of your life stream changes. It doesn't have to be the same thing over and over and over again. This is entirely within your control. And this is really, among many things, this is really what meditation is about. It's about instilling new ideas, softening your being, raising your consciousness. And as we talked about, don't just get up and forget about it. Get up and bring these ideas, this consciousness, this feeling of control and power and inner strength and inner sight and alignment. Bring that into all the aspects of your life. If you're a meditator, then you're a meditator who also has a job. You're a meditator who's also a parent. You're a meditator who, tries to stay healthy. You bring these ideas, all of it, like you've got to bring your whole self to everything that you do instead of compartmentalizing it. I hope that was helpful. I hope that made sense, like I was able to explain that in a way. And let's do one more keyword. Relax. Make sure, check your awareness. Make sure it's focused in. Do that subtle reversal to inner sight. Once you get your inner sight, like a rock in the ocean, just drop it deeper and deeper and deeper. And now I want you to imagine over your head the words living magnetism. Living magnetism. And I want you to see that it has its own essence, its own energy, its own deeper meaning, its own physical essence. It just has a lot, it means a lot. Living magnetism. You are a living magnet. And as this idea, this cloud of energy of living magnetism, lower it down. And the minute it hits the top of your energy field, I want this idea of living magnetism, the entire experience, to percolate into your being. And this living magnetism fills your skin, your muscles, your bones, your cells, your DNA. Each breath is like a pump of living magnetism. You are a living magnet. Flowing energy. Magnetic field reaching all around you. And just allow that feeling of living magnetism to percolate inside your being. This is how we slowly, over weeks and months, transform ourselves from the limited understanding, the lowest vibrational understanding of who we are, to the much higher vibrational understanding of who we actually are and what's possible, what abilities we have, what we can draw into our lives. And we're all encoded. We're just regular, a group of 7, 8 regular people. There's nothing special about any of us. None of us, were in a Tibetan monastery for 40 years and know all these higher secrets. You are a higher dimensional being. You're also a third dimensional being, but that's now a choice. You now can rise yourself up to higher ways of thinking. You can absorb new energies. You can choose new lifestyles. You can choose and jump on and start surfing on a different timeline. You can be healthier. Just because you've been unhealthy in the past doesn't mean you have to be unhealthy now. You're not chained to that. You can shift everything intentionally. Just because you were a certain type of parent in the past doesn't mean you can't be a better parent moving forward. You're not locked in. You have all the freedom in the world of choice. You can choose a new timeline. And I want you to see that the moment you start planting these seeds, these meditations, these ideas, these concepts, these are like seeds that take root, and slowly your life stream starts to change its trajectory. And that's why we're here once a week. Once you get this meditation habit, don't let it go. It's just so easy to let it go and just drift away from it. And then you got to go 3 years later, you'll go back and try to find it again. Once you lock on to this meditation habit, hang on to it for dear life. Don't let it go. Don't let a day go by without taking time to find internal alignment, to release the external, just push it all away, build yourself a little bubble, and enjoy your inner space. Enjoy this inner world. And this inner world is always here. It's always existed. It's peaceful, happy, abundant, healthy. It's always been here, but we're so busy looking for all those things outside that we never actually take a breath and appreciate and explore our inner world. That's what this at least once a week. And it may sound like a week is a long time. Okay, let's say you didn't meditate at all. Hopefully you did. But let's say you didn't. Okay, and you're still here. You're still plugged in. Once a week, it seems like, 6 days and 23 hours but before we're going to do this again. That's a long time. A lot of chance, for your mind to go wandering and go on your roller coaster, your third dimensional roller coaster. But then you come back again next Friday. And then you come back again the Friday after that. And remember, the universe operates in much longer rhythms and cycles. We were just talking about patience. Patience. That's the single thing that's required more than anything on this journey. Be patient. And even if it's only once a week, by the end of a year, that's 52 times that you've experienced this. That experience starts to take root. And faster if you do it on your own, more you meditate, the faster these experiences take root. But they take root and they begin to percolate into all areas of your life. And what I said earlier is really important. Don't meditate and forget about it. Meditate it and allow those energies to percolate. Experiencing them, experience these insights while you're working, while you're with your kids, while you're watching television. You're a meditator now. It's not you meditate at, 7 in the morning and 10 at night. It's not something that's outside of you or something you're going to do later. You're now working on inner alignment, inner balance. This is now part of who you are, and it now will inform your work. It'll inform your parenting. It'll inform, what TV shows or YouTube videos you're going to watch tonight because you're now accepting, encouraging, and embracing these higher dimensional ways of thinking. It's really an inner world that you have access to. And at least once a week, you're here. You guys are plugging in, so you're doing it right. And just keep plugging in. Just keep plugging in. Plug into the collective, plug into these live events, plug into your own meditations, plug into your exercises. Just keep plugging in and raising your sights to higher realms, a higher timeline, and eventually the outer circumstances will catch up. So your timeline will change and you'll start to see outer circumstances change. You'll start to change from the inside. That's what I wanted to share with you. Any thoughts, comments? Yeah, go ahead, Lance.
It's just great job. You really are gifted, and that was great. It's great to rebalance myself I do it daily, or I try to do at least one thing a day. Um, it's interesting that with your words there, I've been trying to prepare myself for a fast. That's something I haven't been able to get myself to do, but I understand the benefits, the physical and spiritual benefits of it. So I've been kind of trying to change my relationship with hunger, and I've been on a micro fast today, and I'm sitting in hunger in the meditation. So I was using that, like, when I felt hunger, I was trying to change my attachment to it and being like, that's a good thing. Like, this is good. This is my body cleaning itself out. This is, my stomach doing what it needs to do. So that's just interesting.
Good. So your inner awareness,
Yes.
self-aware, inner awareness. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you for that. And with fasting, by the way, what I found, and I have maybe it's time to fast again, and maybe we could do that as a group. I know there's a couple other people on here who also fast periodically. Um, with fasting, what I found is after the first day, it like the waves of hunger get like a little hill of hunger, then a little bigger hill, then a big mountain of hunger, then a really big mountain of hunger, and after that, it's done. Hunger is not the issue. Your patience and impatience becomes the issue, or
Mhm.
habits, or hands moving to the refrigerator. Those are the things you have to overcome. But it's not after the first day. It's not really hunger.
I appreciate that. Yep.
I am craving, not caving. I like that. Who's in control? Who's stopping you from quitting coffee? Who's stopping you? No one's stopping you. It's really amazing. Like who's stopping you from being that person you want to be? Who's stopping you from doing the things you want to do or learning the things you want to learn? Or nobody. There's nobody playing defense. And yet there's this internal dialogue and this whole being of habits and all these things that just that's what we have to stop and slow down and take control of. Great. Anyone else want to share experiences, thoughts, feedback? Future events, Sunday morning, 10:30. We're going to do our subconscious reprogramming, really to go along with the Cycle of Mind book. And so we'll be working on that, working on, absorbing new character traits and, all that stuff that we talk about with subconscious reprogramming, a lot of different topics there, health, new habits, new routines. So we'll be talking about that on Sunday morning. And for those of you who are members of, paying members of the collective, on Tuesday night, we are going to, I will be sharing the full. I know I've said I was going to, I've been saying for several months, I want to share it. I'm ready to share it now. The full eighth, ninth, and 10th dimensional explanations and experiences. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to sharing that because every time I share some of these higher dimensional teachings, they percolate in me over the next several days and they really give me deeper understanding. So I'm ready to share that on Tuesday night for those of you that are want to continue in the ascension or the higher dimensional work that we've been doing. All right. Well, that's what I have for today. Any last thoughts, comments? Thank you, Liz. And now you appreciate this space, and let me bounce it back to you. Um, I never understood what it meant to the phrase holding this space. We are literally holding this space, right? I got to figure out how to get more people in. That's my problem, maybe all of our problem as a collective, but we're holding this space. And it's valuable to us on a personal level to be here, but it's also really valuable for us as a collective. We're holding this space, this meditation space, so that it will still exist when other people come here. Now, they won't have all the experiences we have. They'll be starting at the beginning and, don't really have all the, just that's just part of the journey of being a collective because new people show up all the time, and we've got to create, a path for them to get up to speed and start experiencing these things. But we're literally holding the space. I never understood what that meant. Now I get it. Like if it wasn't for us, this space wouldn't be here. And if it was just me and it wasn't you guys, this space wouldn't be here because I do a lot. I would talk to a wall if I thought it was listening, but I'm not going to talk to an empty room. So if it wasn't for you guys, there wouldn't be a space. If it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be a space. If it wasn't for us, this space wouldn't exist. So let's keep holding this space again on Sunday morning and also on Sunday night when we have our members meeting. But anyway, so those are some future things coming up. They're all on the events calendars. Um, and if there's nothing else, I'll let you guys go. Any last thoughts, comments?
We call that keeping the lights on in recovery. We got to keep the lights on for the next person who needs it.
Yeah, and the point of the collective is we're a higher dimensional collective. So you haven't been through all this, Lance, but we've set up shop in the sixth dimension. And the purpose is none of us can stay in this higher dimensional state forever. We can do it for a half hour, an hour, hour and a half, and then boop, we're back doing the laundry, cooking, cleaning, doing our stuff. But what the collective is a magnetic container that holds this energy. So all the time that we spend here, it doesn't dissipate. It's still here, even though individually we leave. But whenever we come back, and I consider the whole circle, the collective. So every time you come back to that circle, watch a video, comment on a video, DM somebody, all of that strengthens this space. So we're literally holding the space, and that also is a good way to think. The light is on. The light's always on. The energy that we create here, the ideas that we create, the forces that we're playing around with, they don't disappear after we leave that awareness. Anytime you rise back to that awareness, the whole group is still there, even if they're not physically there. Because our connection is not a physical. This is why I find Zoom and growing an organization virtually to be so interesting. Our connection is not a physical connection. We're not in the same place. We're not touching each other and, looking into each other's eyes. We don't have that physical space, but it is a magnetic connection. It's a connection at a higher level. And that magnetic connection, as we've talked about many times, is very real. That's a very real power, a very real force. And this is what we're containing inside the collective. So I want to thank you for reminding me about that. All right, guys. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Love you all. Thank you. And
Great
Lance,
stuff.
great to see you again. And everyone, all right, you guys, here's what I want you to do. I want you to to write on a piece of paper the numbers 1 all the way through 21. And however many times you've been to this meditation workshop, I want you to circle it. And when you get to 21, then at that point, these meditations, this lifestyle, this more aligned energy will have sunk into you to a great degree. So just be consistent. Just keep plugging in a little bit at a time. And you guys are doing great. Thank you all for being here, holding the space and making, helping yourselves, but also we're helping each other as well. So I love you all. Talk to you on Circle. I'll get this meditation workshop up on the Circle platform as soon as I can. All right, guys. Everyone take care.